Hi everyone, Big Thinny Rush Tano here, the internet's busiest music nerd, and it's time for a review of this Lexa Gates album, Elite Vessel. This is the latest album from up-and-coming New York rapper Lexa Gates. She's been effectively building a kind of cult internet following behind her music for a couple of years now, as she really started to build momentum behind her stuff over the course of the pandemic. Lately, her music and also her promo has been making more waves, as she had like this viral video on TikTok of her being like locked into like a glass box as people could kind of like choose to listen to her new album outside of it if they wanted. All this buzz drove me to try this new album out, and while it's not a perfect record, I think Lexa effectively makes the case that she is most definitely a rapper to watch over the next few years. That is, if you're the type of rap fan who values somebody who brings a lot of personal rhymes, has a way with words, also an entrancing delivery, not to mention a dry wit and a kind of absurd sense of humor sometimes. Lexa also has a pretty nice ear for beats and a solid singing voice as well, so she can really be her own feature on a track if she does need a sung chorus or something. But yeah, a lot of what Lexa does here, I sort of see creative overlap between her and the likes of Princess Nokia, a bit of Mac Miller, maybe Wiki of Rat King fame, or even some of these, more recent, abstract, somewhat low-key jazz rap artists like Navy Blue, for example. And with some of the soul chops and drums on this record too, she's really keeping that New York vibe alive with kind of a DIY internet flair, with a few moments in the track list that seem to pull from some of the cloud rap trends of the early 2010s too. Now, some of the best highlights on this album really lean into that relatability factor, with Lexa rapping about a lot of normal girl stuff, musing about lovers and the stresses of everyday life, as well as random unfiltered thoughts that just kind of pop into her head. There are numerous solid tracks throughout the album, like Thinking of You, which is an infatuation anthem of sorts that sees Lexa a bit torn. She is obsessed with a particular person in mind, but yet also kind of afraid of devotion. She misses this person, wants to be with this person, but also while they're talking with them, she's also texting other people. She wants someone who's going to be there to pay for her stuff at the store, but doesn't know about a wedding ring. She talks about her and this person getting on each other's nerves, maybe hitting them with a broom. There's a chaos to this track and its storytelling that is hilarious. I would say there's a similar appeal to the song Stupid too, which has more of an intoxicating vibe all around, and despite the chorus being so woozy and delay-soaked, it still is quite snappy, and it's cool that Lexa's voice works in more psychedelic context so well. The track What You Wish For is a lot more concrete in terms of its flows, its drums, its chord progressions, and it opens up with some of the craziest bars on the record. 4 shots, 400 chickpeas, probably gotta take a fat shit before I leave. Okay. But honestly, this is not that ridiculous of a song when you look at the entire thing, as it is very much about the speed and pace at which her life is currently, with her seeing a bit of success in music while also trying to maintain her health and mental and emotional stability. With the way she's rapping about it, this is obviously something she's been working toward for quite a while, but even at this very early stage, she is expressing some very clear second thoughts. I think this topic also comes through on the track STACY'S Chips, where again, through the speed and intensity of her life current day, she's kind of losing track of herself. There's no time to cook. She's eating STACY'S chips. Her nails are chipped. And tracks like Yourself dive even further into these very tense feelings of anxiety and overthinking. As with most of the bars on this track, Lexa is very much in her own head. Love the killer soul chops strewn about the track too, which is also a big selling point on I Just Can't Be Alone, where Lexa not just stuns lyrically, but vocally too. But yeah, there's a lot of good tracks, a lot of highlights throughout the album that most definitely make me curious to see what Lexa does next, but it's on the finer details and the overall, I guess, like bigger picture of this record where I think it falters, as the opening track is pretty unceremonious. The song to follow from there, I think, really could use some retooling in terms of song structure faster as it really breezes by. The closing track also could have been a bit punchier, and while I do appreciate the Earth, It Works in Funny Ways as another personal moment on the album, it too ends pretty abruptly and is really just a bridge to nowhere. I think really more could have been added to it. Sweet Time is, I think, well-intentioned with the angle it's working in terms of, you know, it being a love song and there being a back and forth between her and a feature, but I don't know if Z Loopers was exactly the guy for it. While I do usually enjoy him a lot as a rapper, there's, I don't know, a somewhat limited context in which I think his lyrical style and vocal delivery work, and I'm not sure if a song like this is the one. And then the last thing that really got on my nerves with this record was the vocal performance that Lexa gives on the track Dirt, which is kind of perplexing, honestly. Normally the singing on this record is very good or solid at the very least. Whereas what she tries to pull off here is strained, it's awkward, it is pretty much unlistenable to my ears. I don't know why it made the cut on the album, though I do think the song has a decent start instrumentally. Rap-wise, it's, you know, as solid as anything else here, but the singing is just a bit too rough. All that being said, though, I think Elite Vessel is a pretty good album, and one that, again, shows Lexa Gates in a pretty good place in terms of, like, where her art is moving lyrically, instrumentally, in terms of overall quality. She's just improving with every year she continues to do this, and if that trend continues, I could most definitely see her making an album that is actually quite great, which is why I'm feeling a light 7 on this one. Transition, have you given this record a listen? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What would you rate it? You're the best, you're the best. What should I review next? Hit the like if you like. Please subscribe and please don't cry. Hit the bell as well. Over here next to my head is another video that you can check out. Hit that up or the link to subscribe to the channel. Anthony Fantano, Lexa Gates, forever.